All right, in our state capitol newsroom, session might be over, but the conversation surrounding legislation from it far from over. Here to help us make sense of it all, Republican State Senator and Majority Leader Jack Johnson and Democratic Senator Heidi Campbell. So some legislation quickly became controversial there in the Capitol, from arming teachers on school property to the governor's school voucher program push. While we had a chance to talk to lawmakers on both sides about both of those issues, we wanted to begin with the rhetoric inside the Capitol. From protests to heated conversation, it's no surprise tensions there are high. So we asked lawmakers, what's the best path forward?
You know, how do we have some sort of civil conversation? And what would you say is your responsibility to maybe lessen the tension and the rhetoric that we're seeing right now?
I really appreciate that question. While I do think that drawing attention to some of the inequities that are certainly taking place in our state, I also think that we have to be able to work. We were elected to get a job done, and if we continue to have nothing but divisiveness and controversy, that only goes in one direction, and that's to either side. And so I do think that it's important that we are able to facilitate discussions. I was able to pass some bipartisan legislation this year. It's hard in this really heated up environment, but that having been said, I think that's very important work that we have to continue doing.
And so across the aisle, we asked Majority Leader Jack Johnson the same question.
How do we lessen that or lower the tension?
Yeah, so I believe in the First Amendment. In fact, early in my political career, long before I ran for office, I was a protester at the Capitol. I protested the passage of a state income tax back in 2000, 2001. My wife and I did. And we went down. We had signs. We protested. That's the American way. That's what we do in America. It's called the First Amendment. And so we celebrate that. But when you cross that line and you begin disrupting the ability of elected officials to do the people's business, you're not protected by the First Amendment then. And that's what we're seeing at the Capitol, unfortunately. Come, express yourself. Let your voice be heard. We celebrate that. But when you start screaming and yelling and throwing things and become disruptive and we can't get the people's business done, you've crossed the line. And that's where we need to tamp down a little bit.
And so our conversation with both senators will continue this morning here on Good Morning Nashville. As bills cross the finish line in the final days of session, notably absent school vouchers. Their reason why in our next hour.